Smashcut.
A technique in film where one scene abruptly cuts to another without transition.
Much like a typical conversation with me and my friends when discussing film, television, music, video games, or anything else that happens to come up. This is the idea behind the show, Smashcuts.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a new episode of Smashcuts. I'm Rich Gabon. With me is Jacqueline Kemick.
Hello.
Hello, and we're recording today on Valentine's Day, which today's Valentine's Day for us, but it's probably past due for everybody else.
I doubt we're going to post this immediately after recording, but I know it'll get up soon. And
Yeah.
Romance is still in the air, so we figured, why not do a little bit more of a theme episode. It's been a while since we've gotten together, and that kind of gets us back in the swing of things.
Yeah, exactly. And also, not to mention that the list of movies, I mean, there have been some things that are coming out that are interesting, but I mean, it's getting a little paltry out there. I don't know if you've noticed it, but
Yeah.
the last time I was at the theater, I couldn't name, I could only name two movies that I'd recognized. I didn't recognize anything else.
Mm-hmm.
And I think somehow Glenn Powell became a huge action star. It was like in a
Yes. Yeah.
ton of movies, and I don't feel like I should know who he is, but that's okay. But it's no offense against him. He just, I always,
He had a great SNL hosting gig. That was a good episode of him on SNL.
yeah. But he's kind of like, to me, he was always like, he's the guy you get when the guy you get isn't available, so, or we wanted this kind of
Mm-hmm.
type, and then so, oh, we'll use him. But I mean, he's good, he's fine. It's just strange out there now. There doesn't seem to be any superstars. So, but that's a whole other tangent. But to go back
Mm-hmm.
to our reasoning for today, we decided to choose, I guess, what some people might call chick flicks, but romantic comedies is more the term.
Oh, I didn't specifically go for comedy, although most of mine are.
Yeah.
But
Well,
most of mine are.
yeah. Well, okay, what would you call the theme? It's more,
Well, I just called it, like a Valentine theme.
yeah.
It could be
Okay.
romance. I actually have a little twist in there as well for one, but
No, okay. Yeah,
hmm
why don't you start off, and then I can see how completely wrong my list is.
great. Well, and again, I just kind of threw a few together that are some of my favorites, and I think it's really important that we start with. Let's get the elephant out of the room. Let's just go ahead and mention The Princess Bride right off the bat. Like, if
Oh,
you're
okay.
talking about a great romance film, if you're talking about a fun time for everybody, if you're talking about something that stands the test of time, is completely quotable to this day. There's nothing that's ever going to be the same. There's no amount of um, trying to recreate this magic that would ever possibly get close. And so Princess Bride is going to be the one I do. I almost feel like it's a throwaway, but it's so important that I can't throw it away. I have to bring it up because
Yeah.
it's perfect. It's a perfect romance film. You have the camp, you have the true love, you have all of the adventure and the fun, and I feel like there's not a person in a room that wouldn't get sucked into it if it was on TV and they hadn't seen it before. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
something you can put on with your partner, with your kids, with your grandparents, and everybody's going to have a good time, and nobody's going to feel like they sacrificed anything. If not, like, more so, you're being enriched. Your life is brighter because you have seen this movie and experienced this story with all of these incredible actors, an incredible script.
Yeah. Yeah. And it was written by William Goldman, who I
So
remember
that's my number one.
he wrote. It's funny, he wrote the book on that. He wrote the original book that the movie was based on. And I only know that
Hmm
because I first had heard of The Princess Bride. I was working at a library at the time, and I had come across the book, and I had just like kind of picked it up and was reading it and such like that. And then I stopped for whatever. And literally all of a sudden I got a new issue of Starlog. This is what dates me. It's like Starlog, what
hmm
used to be the entertainment magazine for
I remember that. That's so. I totally forgotten about it. You saying that is like, whoa, blast from the past.
Yeah, it's like saying Dynamite Magazine, which I don't even know if you know what that
Yeah.
is. But Starlog
Mm.
had like a whole thing about, the making of The Princess Bride. I'm like, whoa, they're making a movie of this, and
Yeah.
I didn't see it in the movies. I saw it on video. I don't know anyone who's seen it in the movies, to be honest with you. It's like
Yeah.
finding someone
No.
who saw This Is Spinal Tap in the movies. Like it was,
Right.
I didn't even
Right.
know when it was out. It was just all of a sudden it was just on video. And I, when I first saw it, I kind of was like that kid in the movie. When it first starts, it's like, oh, I like the book, but I'm not sure about the movie. And then by the time it ends, it's like I can't remember when I wasn't like rewatching it or like when it just wasn't on, and you would just start, seeing it, and then little by little you'd start hearing people like inconceivable or hello, my
Mm-hmm.
name is
Mm-hmm.
which I just blanked on his name. Um,
Neo Montoya.
yeah, Leo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Um, and it's
Mm.
funny because we did show it to the kids one year, and it was the same way at first when it starts. They're like, yeah, I'm really, But then after you get into it and you're watching it, it's like that's, then they get sucked in as well. So
Yeah.
it's like you're that little kid. And I love the tribute that Deadpool did to it because I have
Yes, it's true.
that copy of when they did the second Deadpool with uh Fred what's his name? It's blanked on the kid's name when he's
Yeah.
tied
Yeah. Yeah.
tied to the bed, yeah, telling the Deadpool story. So,
Oh, that's so funny.
but yeah, no, I agree. That's a good one. You know.
Yeah. Oh my God. Well, again, and I mean, rest in peace, Rob Reiner. That was also something that happened
Yeah.
that kind of shocked everybody. But he has an incredible legacy, and of course, more so than just The Princess Bride. But this will always be the one that comes to mind for me.
Yeah.
His talents live on. We appreciate him.
Yeah. Definitely. And I did get to see Spinal Tap too, so it just was sad that it happened right around that time. That it was like a couple of
Yeah.
months after it was released, and I did enjoy the second one. It was, obviously you're never gonna be able to get the same energy and feel, but it was fun. I thought it was enjoyable. Um,
Well, nice. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet.
yeah. So I have a weird choice for here's one of my I have like a couple that are just like, of course they have to be. Um, but this one movie that I love, that I watch a lot, and I guess it's more of a comedy drama, but I don't know
Huh?
if you've ever heard of this film called Once Around. Have you ever heard of that?
Hmm.
It stars Richard
It's not. Let
Dreyfuss.
me see.
Yeah, it stars Richard Dreyfuss and Holly Hunter, and it's this very strange movie because it's
I
it's a
don't know it.
it's Richard Dreyfuss. Well, Holly Hunter is like somebody who's very close with her family, and she's got a big Italian family, and they're all involved in her life. And then she goes on this like training seminar, and she meets the salesman Richard Dreyfuss. And this is not
Mm-hmm.
it's this movie from like the 90s maybe or something like that. And they fall in love and instantly get married, and she brings this guy into her Italian family, and it's like it immediately causes chaos because he's like overbearing personality. He's a lovable guy that everybody loves him, but he's like an overbearing guy, and uh uh you know and he just kind of like blows up the whole family without destroying. It was a very real kind of family love story drama. But it's a very unusual, and it's a fun film, but it's interesting to see, and it takes place over years. And like it's not like it's a weekend or something like that. Like if I read the description of, like, it's a very weird. It was directed by Lassie Hallstrom, who's done a lot of interesting type of films, but definitely seek this one out because I think it's one that uh, it's one that over time I just love watching. But the description is
Cool. I've never even heard of that one. Although I will say I'm not a huge Richard Dreyfuss fan. I love The Competition. I
yeah,
thought that was an incredible film.
yeah, yeah,
But in general, I find it hard to get into films with him. Although this is old enough that I think that I have more of a
Yeah.
chance of liking him when he's younger versus when he's older.
Well, he's definitely it's in the What About Bob stage. It's like around that time
Oh, okay,
period.
okay. So it's still,
So he's still
yeah.
kind of like he's
What
not like the curmudgeon yet.
I like,
He's still
I
he,
like that. That's now an era for anyone.
yeah.
It's in the What About Bob era.
Yeah. Oh, I that's another movie. I could
I
just
love
watch that.
that.
I can watch that
So
movie
funny. I
anytime
haven't
it's
seen that in
on.
so long.
Yeah, it's that's a fun movie. But if you read the description of this thing, it's and this is when these type of movies which would be in the theaters. Now, I can't this would be a TV like a multi-episode TV show. I don't think this would be a movie at this point because
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like something anyone would see. But the description is written as Richard Dreyfuss, Holly Hunter, and says about a brash, charming salesman who marries into a close-knit Italian American family, causing chaos with his overbearing personality, much to the dismay of the family patriarch Danny Aiello. And then it says the
Huh.
film explores themes of love, family, and acceptance as the family grapples with the disruptive but passionate newcomer, with Hunter and Dreyfuss praised for their performances as the mismatched couple. So it's yeah, it's a hard film to describe, but it's a fun film to watch, you know. So
Yeah.
so that's my
It's
oddball
cool.
choice.
Oh,
What's
awesome.
next on your list?
Well, I am a big fan of, obviously, I grew up in the 80s. So a lot of mine are like older. And I mean, I love fantasy. So, I mean, I can't go anywhere without talking about Lady Hawk from 1985. That
Okay.
is one of, I think, again, it's another like fantasy romance. Michelle Pfeiffer, when she's like 14, not really, she's older, like, she's got to be 18, I think, in that movie. Maybe 17. I don't know. Super, super young. It might have been one of her first films. It might have been her first film. But incredible. It's also got Matthew Broderick and Rutger Hauer, and basically this evil, religious person like casts a spell on or curses Michelle Pfeiffer because she doesn't love him, and like he
Hmm.
wants her. It's very, what is that? Notre Dame, the evil Disney
Yeah.
version of the Hunchback of Notre Dame, right? So,
Hmm.
but he curses Michelle Pfeiffer and Rutger Hauer, who are the lovers, to never be together. So during the day, Michelle Pfeiffer turns into a hawk, and Rutger Hauer is a man. And then during the evening, during the night, once the sun sets, they basically switch, and Rutger Hauer becomes a wolf while Michelle Pfeiffer turns back into herself. So they're always together, but can never actually be together. And it's this incredible romance. And Matthew Broderick just plays like this crazy
Yeah.
buffoon
Like a
piece.
sage of sort, right? Like a yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know. He plays a fool, I think, not
Yeah.
a sage, but
I'm not a
but
sage, yeah. I was trying to think of the name for the helper, like the aide
a
or whoever,
squire.
a
Yeah, yeah,
squire. There
yeah.
you go. Yeah, young
Yeah, he ends
squire.
up
Yeah.
having to squire for Rutger Hauer, who is the captain of the guard. But, again, just now they're trying to find out, is there a way to break the curse? And it's an incredible story. It was directed by Richard Donner, and the only thing I have to warn people is if you haven't grown up loving this movie, I highly recommend seeing it. But everything is timeless except for the soundtrack. The
Oh
soundtrack
yeah.
it really leans in to that 80s synth. Now, I love it, but that's
Yeah.
also because I grew up loving it. I can
Yeah.
totally understand somebody now having a hard time getting into it because of that, because it almost like makes it goofy. But I just want to warn people about that. As long as you're not thrown by that, or you can get behind a hardcore synth adventure soundtrack,
Yeah. Well, it's weird, right? Because
it's
whenever
so
I think of
good.
Lady Hawk, I think of the other movie that's they always miscast the young person, a Legend, where Tom
Yeah.
Cruise is in Legend, and
Yeah.
they always picked a kind of a person of the time who's so even the vernacular that they speak is so of the time of the 80s, but they put him in this out of world, like Matthew Broderick kind of has that New York, Brooklyn,
Yeah.
sound to him that like he's from, or he's more Manhattan. And then Tom Cruise is just, he doesn't really have any accent, but he definitely is an American. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
I don't
so
know. I feel like okay. Okay. Let's calm down about disparaging Legend, because I do love that
Oh, I know. I love it too.
movie.
But
So it's not on my romance list,
yeah,
although
yeah,
I could
yeah.
see why it could also fall into that. I mean, it's definitely
But
there,
it's
but
one
it's
of those
also Tom Cruise
films.
before he fixed his teeth, and he still looks so like a real person and like,
Yeah,
sweet, you know?
yeah, like right out of Taps or something like that. I guess he was
Yeah.
before Top Gun. But what's weird
Yeah.
about it is he definitely has during that time they definitely used to do this thing where they would go with all the movies from that time period all had that same feel. Like the editing, the feeling of it, the music was they would choose like they got rid of Jerry Goldsmith music and replaced it
I
with Tangerine
know.
Dream
Tangerine Dream, right? Which
to
I
keep
love
it
the
in that.
Tangerine Dream
Oh,
score,
I do
but
too.
the
Yeah.
Jerry Goldsmith score, if you listen to that original score, it is so much more fantasy. It is so much more like fairy, magical. It really does seem like it fits more with the film. And if you
Yeah.
watch the director's cut, most people hate it because it's so different because of that. But I'm like, I get it though. I get the vision, but they
Yeah.
wanted something a little more
More
rock and
modern.
roll, although it's
Yeah.
not rock and roll. It's just, Tangerine Dream, again, very synth, very, and I do love that Tangerine Dream score. I do. I love it, but I also
Yeah.
grew up with it. So again, watching it for the first time now, I almost wonder. And even in the original director's cut, Lily in Legend was a princess, not
Yeah.
just a lady. I
Yep.
mean, it was much more grand, traditional fairy
Yeah.
tale.
Yeah, I've never
Hmm.
understood why they made the changes they made. But going back to Lady Hawk,
Well, they wanted to make her more relatable. I mean, Lily's just a
yeah,
real girl. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
yeah,
kidding. I really.
yeah,
How is that? How is she relatable?
yeah. But it's weird. Is 80s films did that a lot. Like I don't. It's kind of
Yeah.
like they were. I don't know who their audience was back then. Because
Yeah.
essentially, I mean, I should have been because I was 15. When those
Hmm.
movies came out, and I did see Lady
Well,
Hawk in the
exactly. I mean, I
theater.
was too young, really. Like all these movies that I love are from when I was too young to really appreciate them when they first came out.
Yeah. And I only saw Lady Hawk. I wanted to see Goonies, and there was a theater that would play like for $1 you get to see two. They would have the after they were like second run. It was a second run theater where after the
Yeah.
movie played, it would go there, which they don't even those don't even exist anymore. Um,
Yeah.
but so it was Lady Hawk and the Goonies playing together. So I saw those two
Oh,
films on the
how
same day.
fun.
Yeah. So, but
Very different vibes from each. But I
oh
could
yeah.
totally see that being a great afternoon.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, they used to do weird things like this theater was called the Drake. And it still exists, but now it's just like
Mm-hmm.
a regular theater. And I think they turned it into like, there's like five screens in one or something. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
movies actually filmed there. I know Howard Stern's Private Parts filmed a movie in there when it was they had a premiere or something. But they would team up movies like that. Like I saw Staying Alive and Fame together. Like
Hmm.
they'd have like really weird, double features. But that's a good Lady
That's
Hawk's a good one. I
cool.
wouldn't have thought of Lady Hawk because I
Well,
haven't seen it in years.
and honestly, I haven't watched it again very recently, but thinking about it now, and I mean, there's so many different '80s ones I could put in there. I mean, Bell Book and Candle, I love. Moonstruck, I love.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Time, if you really want to talk about,
Oh my
true
God.
romance.
I
Honestly, I might talk about that one next. So you go, and then
yes.
we'll talk about Somewhere in Time.
Okay. Yeah, because that should have gone on my list too. I forgot
Yeah.
about that one. You know.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
so there's another movie that I love that's a little out there. It's probably an independent film, but I'm not sure if you've ever seen it. And I don't mean to choose all these obscure. Trust me, I have a bunch
No,
of
that's all
regular.
right. We want the people to know.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Well, it's
I
a
want to
movie.
know what I need to watch.
This one's kind of a comedy, and it kind of is like it's not making fun of romantic comedy, but it is playing with the tropes of the romantic comedy.
Mhm.
It's called The Baxter. I don't know if you've ever heard of that film.
Oh no, I'm gonna look it up real quick. The
It's
Baxter.
directed by Michael Showalter, who is one of the guys in Stella. Do you remember that comedy group? Where it was like a three-guy comedy group, and the concept of it is the main character. He has a history of losing fiance, so he's the guy that in every romantic comedy, whatever. Let's say you take Of course I just blanked. Sleepless in Seattle. He would be the Bill Pullman character in the
Got
movie,
it.
where he's always the
Who
guy.
is
His whole life.
inarguably the best character of that movie.
Yeah, he's the nice
But go
guy,
on.
but he's always the guy that the girl. He's always either the boyfriend of the girl or the husband or whatever he is
Got
of the
it.
main character who falls in love with somebody else. But in the movie, we're always seeing him from the point of view of he's the guy that we don't like, or because there's two ways. They either have him as a Bill Pullman character, or they usually make him like a complete jerk, like in Wedding Crashers, right? Well, this in
Got it.
this one, he's more the Bill Pullman, and as he and his Elizabeth Banks and he are about to get married, we're seeing things from his point of view, where she has an old boyfriend who comes to town who's like Mr. Perfect, and he's uh, oh God, I just blanked on his name. He's
Justin Theroux. I'm looking at the
yes,
cast list now. That's why.
yes, Justin Theroux, and
Got great people in it.
it is such a funny film. Like seek this out because
That's
he
funny.
also has a friend at work, Michelle Williams, who Michelle Williams plays, and but what's great is the whole movie. You're just seeing everything from the overbearing ex-boyfriend and the girl that he's and the girl Michael Showalter's going to marry, and you're just seeing everything that he's going through. So it's a funny film, definitely worth looking for.
Mhm.
It was definitely an indie film because you could tell like it's not a very expensive film. Peter Dinklage actually is in it as well as a wedding consultant, um, who's plays a very interesting character. But yeah,
Mm,
definitely seek this one out. This is a fun one to watch. So. Uh,
that's awesome.
yeah, so that's my odd one. So now
Yeah,
we're
so he
on to
that's the
yeah,
guy that director did What Hot American Summer, which I remember watching once, and I think I convinced myself I liked it because the person I was with really liked it. And
yeah.
looking back on it, I don't actually think I liked it that much. Like I think that there's some like moments I kind of still remember, but I'm like, so I don't know. But
That's
I haven't
funny.
seen any of his other films.
It's funny you feel that way because I feel the same way. I I feel like I've been forced to like that one, and
Right,
I could
right.
never
It's
connect
like,
with that one. Like, and I know they even did that
yeah.
TV show, and everybody who's in it, I feel like I should like because it's all these great
It's
characters,
exactly.
but
I
I could never
respect
get
all the
into it.
characters,
Yeah,
all the actors, and I did. I kind of just like went along, and I because I was really young when that came out, and you know. But
yeah.
yeah. Since then, I've been like, yeah, you know what? I think that actually wasn't for me.
Yeah, and it's weird because it's Michael Showalter, Michael Ian Black, and I forget the other guy. There's another guy who's part of Stella, like the three comedy team that they used to
Hmm.
have a show on television that I thought was hysterical. But
I don't know that one.
yeah, it was like a Kids in the Hall kind of show. And it was only on Comedy Central. It was only on for like a year. I don't think, but they were kind of known as a comedy group
And it was
outside of
called
it.
Stella.
Yeah, that was
No,
their name.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, it's an old TV show,
I
but
know
they
the
still work
state
together.
and
This,
Exit 57.
yeah, yeah, it was, and it's kind of in that, it's kind of like that time period too. Um,
Hmm.
but
Yeah, I
but
missed
yeah,
that.
that's where I knew Michael Ian Black from first before he's become like what commentator on all these other
Yeah.
shows. Yeah. Um, but yeah, but definitely, I've given you two now, two rare ones. Probably you can't even find them on streaming. I bet they're so like
That's
obscure.
funny.
Don't mean to even choose that obscure, but they're
Well, that's all right. Again, I mean, like I said, I want to see these if they're good.
yeah,
Good, great, and good. Good.
good. So yeah, so now you just gonna you mentioned what was the one you said you're gonna talk about next was
Oh, I'm going to talk about Somewhere in Time because it
oh
does
yes,
deserve a spot on this list. I
yes,
kind of just said it in passing, but it is true. If you're talking about true romance film, this is not a comedy. This is not, um, uh, I mean, it might have a funny moment in it or anything, but it's not. It is still kind of fantasy because the plot of the film is Christopher Reeve plays an author who is a playwright, I should say, who uses self hypnosis to go back to the year 1912 and kind of insert himself mentally in this year but it's like it's so real. And he saw this photo before he went under of Jane Seymour. And it's a black and white photo in this beautiful estate or hotel or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And he goes back in time in his mind, and he has this penny in his pocket that was from 1912 to kind of ground him and everything. And he buys a suit and everything in the real world that's like all 1912 accurate, so mentally he can have a perfect image that is appropriate to the time. It's not like he's showing up wearing, whatever 1980s wear and everything. And then all of a sudden you're back in time after he does his little trick of the
Yeah.
mind or whatever it is, and they have this amazing romance with Jane Seymour. And how can he stay and how can he go? And I don't want to spoil the ending, but like the score, the John Barry score,
Hmm.
is one of the probably top 5 scores of all time, and probably most recognizable. People might not know where it's from if they haven't seen the movie,
Yeah.
but like they would know that. Da, da, da,
Oh,
da,
they use it all the time in
da.
Oscar
Yeah.
things and
Oh,
all
exactly.
commercials.
It's
Yeah.
so it's
Yeah.
so incredible. I mean, I was young when I watched that. I don't think I had cried that hard since, I think the first time I ever cried at a movie was Phantom of the Opera. And then I remember I was really young, and then I was getting noticed for crying. And then, so of course I really leaned into it and hammed it up and was like, oh, why did he have to die?
Yeah.
But this, I think, was one of the first times I really cried at a film, like
Yeah.
so deeply, so genuinely, like not just a
Yeah.
couple tears, but like, oh my God, I'm sobbing.
Hmm.
you know
I
so
love
so
it.
good. And Jane Seymour, so
Oh yeah,
gorgeous.
she's great in that. It's funny because
Hmm.
Jen always says that she loves time travel romance movies, and to me,
Yeah.
but she's never seen this one, which I do own it. Like I
Mm.
have that on streaming, and it is that is one of my favorites. My uncle introduced this to me, not Tony, my uncle Bill. He had told us about this movie, and then he showed it to us when we were at his house once, and I loved it instantly. Like I thought it was, at first I was like, where's it going? I don't, what's, but then yeah,
Yeah.
you just like,
The antagonist is Christopher Plummer. I forgot that it
yeah,
was him. Oh, it's
yeah,
been so long since I've seen it. I need to watch
yeah.
it again. I need to watch all these again. These are great. Maybe have a romance weekend.
Well, yeah, no, that movie, there's two movies that remind me of each other, and not, and even while they're very different films, but it's Somewhere in Time and then Time After Time. I don't know if you ever heard of that one, but
Oh yeah,
it's
time after time. Absolutely.
yeah, it kind of, they
Love that
have a
one.
similar weird feel, but they're not the same, even though they're both about time travel. They're
Yeah.
but they have that same. It's almost like they could have been filmed on the same day, like that.
Yeah.
There's two films that are very very similar to each other, you
I
know.
haven't seen that one in a really long time either, but that one was Malcolm McDowell, and it probably one of the only Malcolm McDowell movies that I'd ever seen where he wasn't
Creepy. Yeah,
terrifying.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, he was, because he was great. I mean, he plays H.G. Wells, which is so great.
Yes.
And the
Yeah.
fact that he actually had a real time machine, goes into the future.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean,
I need to watch that one again because there's a lot I don't remember about that one, but I do remember liking it.
yeah, because the characters are H.G. Wells and Jack the Ripper. I mean, you can't, you know,
Oh, that's right.
yeah.
Oh, that's right.
And
Yes.
and so I mean, the film starts with, H.G. Wells shows his time machine to his friend, who turns out to be Jack the Ripper. And when everyone realizes he's Jack the Ripper, he jumps into the time machine. And but the great thing is he didn't have the key to the time machine, so you can use the time machine, and then it comes back. It comes back to you,
Yeah.
in the same spot. So then H.G. Wells goes after him, and right at the start of the film, H.G. Wells uses the machine, and then is he's in a museum, an H.G. Wells museum,
Yeah.
and kind of that's, and then the it's 1978, I think, or something like that, and
Yeah.
that's where the movie begins. So yeah,
That's
I love
awesome.
that film. But I love Somewhere in Time
Oh,
too.
I gotta watch that again too. This is
Yeah,
just I gotta watch that again podcast.
yeah, yeah. There's a whole list of movies, that
Oh,
you,
how
yeah,
fun.
and if you get some time, yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Let me see what's I oops, I just moved my list from view. Um, well, let's see, I said The Baxter, I said Once Around. Now I'm going to go with a film that's probably Um, it's not an obscure film, and people, I'm not sure how people feel about this, and some people like it, some people
Hmm.
don't. I love this one when I first saw it, and then when I worked at Showtime, they would play it over and over, and I found I still enjoyed it. But
So
Notting
curious.
Hill, yeah, not Notting Hill.
Oh,
I know, right? Yeah, and
they did play that all the time on TV. You're
yeah,
right.
yeah, on Showtime that was on every 10 seconds. But I think what I liked about it was the uh I like the concept of it. Notting Hill is for those if someone was living under the rock and they never heard of it. Stars Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte. Not Nick Nolte. What the Nick Nolte. Julia Roberts and
Oh,
Hugh
now that
Grant.
you said Nick Nolte, you're not.
Yeah. Oh, holy moly. That's ironically she hates Nick Nolte. Like they worked together in a film and they couldn't stand each other. That's like I forgot what it was called, but anyway, um, yeah, Julia Roberts plays a famous movie star, Stretch, and then she stumbles into a bookstore one day and meets Hugh Grant, and then has to at one point hide out in his house because paparazzi and everybody are after her. But I don't know what it is about the film, but it's written and directed by Richard Curtis, who is like the Hugh Grant a comedy, romance comedy king. Like he did Four Weddings and a Funeral, Love Actually, and all of those I like. I've always been a big fan of this director. A lot of people thought, oh, Rich is a big Hugh Grant fan, but it's actually I'm a big Richard Curtis fan, and it just so happens Hugh Grant's in all of his films. But um, because I even saw Love Actually in the movies as well,
Mhm.
me and my friend Mike, who it was the most we didn't even think of how ridiculous it seemed for as everybody's on date night, and me and my friend Mike are coming out of the theater after seeing Love Actually, and I swear it
Oh,
always felt like it was a wedding, because we walked out and everyone's waiting to go in, and they just see, and for some reason we went to an earlier showing, so it was just me and him in the theater. So when we come out after the credits are run, people are looking at us like. And I'm like, are they going to throw rice? Like, what's happening? Like, they just were like standing.
oh, they just assumed.
They
They're like,
kind of,
oh,
yeah, kind of
look at this
shocked that,
couple.
yeah, you see all the girls are thinking that all the guys were like, oh God, these guys went to see it on by choice. But
Oh, well,
yeah, but I
whatever.
I still love that film. I don't know what it is, but
Notting
I love
Hill,
Love
yeah.
Actually, but I love Notting Hill as well.
Mm.
I love the dialogue in that one. I think it's really funny. I think there's a lot of funny scenes and I don't know, Richard Curtis, he has a way of making these films that, nobody's, it kind of takes that running to the airport trope, but in a way where I don't feel I'm not angered by it. Because a lot of times, if I'm seeing Matthew McConaughey and what's her name, uh, she just now, she was nominated for,
Julia Roberts.
no,
Oh, Matthew. I'm sorry. If you're seeing Matthew McConaughey and who?
yeah, Matthew McConaughey and what's that
What are we
movie
talking
where just one of the guys? Yeah, just one of the guys. I was thinking that. No, not just one of the guys. Oh God,
about?
what's?
Just one of the guys. What are you? Why are
Yeah,
we?
I'm all
Give me
over the
some
place all
context
of a
clues
sudden.
here. What?
Um, Matthew McConaughey and Kate Hudson. That's what I'm thinking of. Like usually,
Oh,
if you
got it.
saw it, it's like one of those type of films. It's like, oh, you know where this is going, and
Yeah,
someone's
like
gonna
how
chase after
to lose a guy
somebody.
in 10 days and days,
Yeah,
10 days
how to win
and
a guy in
failure to
10 days.
launch and all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, see, I don't think I even overwatched all those.
yeah. See, I used to have to
Not my
watch a lot
genre.
of those.
Oh,
Like
I'm sure you did for your,
yeah.
yeah, you're like, well, here it is.
For work, yeah. So I hated all of those, but I kind of like the way that Richard Curtis plays with it. And then I have another movie that I'll talk about after that really
Okay.
plays with those tropes. So
Okay.
yeah.
Well, I think I'm going to move on from the 80s just because I mean, I could stay there all episode, but I also wanted to bring in another one. It's imagine this. It's got a twist of fantasy about it, but it's so good and it's so epic and it's one of the most visually stunning films I had seen in a long time when it first came out. It's heavy, but it's all so perfectly balanced as all of Christopher Nolan movies can be, and that is The Fountain.
Oh, The
I
Fountain.
do think I think that it is an incredible film. This one was, I'm sorry, Darren Aronofsky. I said Christopher Nolan, but Darren
Yeah, yeah.
Aronofsky, pardon me. 2006. It is Hugh Jackman and Rachel Weisz, and it's just this journey through time and space and all about him trying to save her. And it's, I mean, how much more romantic could you be to
Yeah.
have someone who loves you over time, you know? Like
Hmm.
there's that great line in Dracula, I have crossed oceans of time to to see you, or whatever it
Yeah.
is. And I feel like this is the actual representation of that in such a visceral way. It's all about love and death and spirituality,
Yeah.
and I think that it is a great film. And I think it's another one. I think I remember it being pretty long,
Uh,
but
uh, you know what?
if you're up for it,
I don't think it's very long. I think it's very dense, right? Like maybe that's why it felt long.
yeah,
But it's
maybe.
but it was I
Oh,
mean
it
I
is.
liked
It's
it.
only It's only an hour and a half. Wow. I'm like, it's not long.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
only
because
an
I
hour
saw
and a half.
we saw it in the theater. Me
But
and
yeah.
Jen saw that in the theaters and
Yeah.
in the city
Yes. Well, it was
and we
great
liked
in the
it.
theater.
Yeah.
The visuals are just incredible. I mean, there's this whole um, theme with the tree of life, and it's it's so impactful. And it also has a great score. Who did that score? Clint Mansell.
Um, oh, okay.
Um, Yeah, it also has a great score. But I do think if again, an earnest love story,
Yeah.
something that's not too campy, I do really appreciate that one.
You know what's weird? So the writer of it, he released, which I think was, did Darren Aronofsky write that? I think he did, but
Did he? Oh, let
um,
me see.
I'm not sure. But I remember that they released a graphic novel based on it, which I bought immediately, and it was one of those I bought sight unseen, and I'm
Mm-hmm.
not sure if I would have because there's a weird thing with comics. It doesn't matter
It
how
was
good a
written by
story
him.
is. It was written, right? It's weird with comics. It doesn't matter how good a story is. If the art does not work for you, it's almost impossible to get through a comic where the art, if you don't like the art at all. Do you know
Oh,
what I
that's so
mean?
true. I
Right?
mean, it's so true. I can absolutely hear people say like, "Oh, you should read this, you should read that." And I'm such especially in graphic novels, such a visual person.
Yeah.
Obviously the writing could be fantastic, but it is hard for me to want to keep going if I'm like, I'm really not. I would almost rather not have the visuals
Yeah. It
if I
was,
don't align. I don't let them just read a book that and have my own imagination. Although I do still appreciate other people's vision, it's just
yeah.
it makes it tough. It's kind of like with cartoons. Honestly, there's a lot of cartoons out there that I think are probably really really great based on what people are saying, but I can't get behind the art style,
I
so
know.
I
If
don't
it's
want to
a
watch it.
Flash cartoon, it's like, yeah, you're right.
Like I
It's
don't.
hard to watch.
I'm not
But it's
there.
it's funny because this art was like it was almost like abstract paintings each page,
Mm.
and I think the second I felt like
I'll
that
have to
with
look
the
and see who
second
did the
Dark
art.
Knight Returns. I forgot what that one was called. Do you remember when they
The
re
George Miller?
no, no, the sequel to what's Frank Miller's comic? The big comic that he did, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Oh, The Dark Knight, right? Yeah. So his sequel, the sequel comic that came out, I had a problem reading that one too because I just didn't like the art in that one where I loved the art in the first one, in the original. And when they did the second one, I forgot with when she's a Catwoman or Catgirl. Did you ever read the sequel to
Yeah, yeah, I have that one.
yeah, I couldn't get into that. Varney, I think
It's The
is
Dark Knight Returns,
that right?
right?
Yeah,
Or the
I
yeah.
think so. I don't remember they were called. Like the third one I liked better,
Kent
but
Williams was the artist, by the way. I just wanted to pick up before I change the page. Kent Williams
okay.
was the artist for the Fountain graphic novel. So
Oh, okay.
I'm not familiar with him,
Yeah.
but I see
He's
the
not a
art style is
comic
very
artist
cool.
though, right? He's not. I don't think. It,
Uh,
which
what he was for that.
oh was yeah, so that one was, but
I
but
mean,
that's what it felt like. I felt like I was looking at like somebody who didn't work in
but
that
yeah, it's
medium.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not his normal thing. It looks like.
Yeah. Which is understand. It's almost like when somebody who's not normally a comic book writer, like I'll say, like when a screenplay writer writes a comic, and the dialogue bubble is so taking over the page that there's barely enough room for the art. You know what I mean? Like where that's happened sometimes on the opposite end. Um, but um, but yeah, not to go off on a tangent, but it was just that that I love that movie so much. I really wanted to delve into, and I was so wanting to read this because I had heard that there was a lot more in the comic and things that were cut out from the movie, but I really couldn't understand what I was reading. Like that was how strange it felt, like I
Yeah.
couldn't get into it. But a great movie. I love that movie.
Yeah.
In fact, I
And it
haven't
was The
seen it.
Dark Knight Returns. We're saying The Dark Knight, but it was The Dark Knight Returns was the name of the graphic novel
Right.
that
And
we're
what was
trying
the
to think
second one
of.
called?
Oh, part two.
Was it called Part Two? It was that. Okay.
Wasn't it?
I
Wasn't
did,
it? I don't know.
yeah,
Let
I
me
don't
see.
know. I
It's so
just felt
funny. I
like,
have it. I could probably dig it out, but
yeah, because you know what I remember too. Like when you think of that comic, I keep thinking of like a lot of white backgrounds. You know what I mean? Like because at one point you're Ant, not Ant Man. What's his name? The Atomic. I forgot the name of the character is in DC. But not to go off on a tangent, but that I couldn't get into the second one for some reason. I had a real hard time.
Mhm.
I should try it again. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, that's a great choice. So let me see. What do I have another? I think I have. Let me see. I mentioned Notting Hill. I mentioned the Baxter. Um, oh, I do have an honorable mention. So
Yes.
there is a film called, which I don't know if you've seen it. They Came Together, which is a
Mm-mm.
parody kind of the romantic comedies. And ironically, it was directed by, which I'm just realizing, and I did this
Oh
by
my
accident, directed by
gosh.
David Wayne, who is the third member of Stella, who I was trying to remember what his name was, which
Oh, that's really funny.
that's
You're
really,
really focused on them this
yeah, I didn't
cast.
even realize it, which is so strange.
It's a theme we didn't know.
Yeah, you're not
That's
gonna go off. Yeah,
funny.
it's because Stella consisted of Michael Showalter, David Wayne, and Michael Ian Black. That was them.
Oh my God, this has everybody. I think I've seen the trailer for this because I remember specifically the trailer with them at the restaurant.
Yeah.
But yes, Paul Rudd, Amy Poehler, Bill Hader, Kobe Smulders, Ed Helms, Ellie
Hmm.
Kemper, Christopher Maloney. I mean, just an incredible
It's
cast.
everybody, and it's
Yeah.
great because it was one of those. It didn't come out in the theaters. It was a direct to
Oh my God,
streaming,
it keeps going.
but it
Oh,
was
I
so
don't know. Yeah.
it was basically it's not like Airplane, but I would call it the Airplane of romantic comedies. Because
That's really funny.
every single idea that you've seen in all of these other movies of Run to the Airport or the the side guy or the best friend or the gay best friend, like all of it is in there,
That's funny.
so
Okay.
definitely worth seeing.
I
It's a lot
have
of
to
fun.
watch it.
Yeah,
I love all these people. And again, the cast I mentioned, like it keeps going. Like there's so many more people in it as I
yeah.
as I see here. Incredible. But yes, I definitely need to watch it. It's really funny that you mentioned that though, because is there anything else you want to say on it before I pivot?
No, no, no. Yeah, that was
Because it
I
is
would say just go watch it. That's
it
yeah.
literally there's a couple current ones that I wanted to talk about. And one of the ones is actually a slasher film. And it was just released either this year or last year. It's called Heart Eyes. And
Oh, I've heard of that.
when I first saw it come out, I was like, ugh, blah, okay, blah blah blah. Um, and then I just randomly watched it because it was on Netflix or something recently, and was like, oh my God, this movie is brilliant. It is phenomenal. Josh Rubin is the director. It's got a bunch of people that I don't recognize in it, but it doesn't matter because it's the same thing. It is leaning into all of the tropes, but it's leaning into both horror tropes and romantic comedy
Oh, that's
tropes.
funny.
So it's just everything, all of the jokes are spot on. Like I had such a good time with this because I was watching it literally laughing because it was genuinely funny, but also being like, they must have had such a blast filming. Like this looked like so much fun to make. And it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. And a huge shout out to Heart Eyes. If this is anywhere near, Valentine's when we actually release it, I'm like, I think I'm going to watch it again tonight, as what was my plan, because I'm like, I love it. And I want to shout to the rooftops, because it really would have been so easy for me to just gloss over it, because it looked, like, okay, another slasher movie made for Valentine's, like for another
Yeah.
holiday, right? Like there's always got to be slasher movies on holidays. And I mean, I still kind of enjoy those, even though I know they're bad, but like, it's like, you know, they lean
Yeah, they're
into that they're
fun.
bad, but this one specifically was super, super well done.
Oh, I gotta
So
watch.
yeah.
I kept seeing it. I forget where it is streaming. It's on one of the, there's so many Paramount Plus,
Yeah, I
Peacock.
know. Maybe it wasn't Netflix. I thought it was,
It's on one
but
of the.
yes,
I did see it come up on
Heart
one of those.
Eyes, highly
Yeah.
recommend. Good
Oh,
time
nice.
for sure.
Oh, I'm definitely gonna
Mhm.
watch that one. Um,
Yeah,
let me see. Was
but not
there?
with the kids. I don't remember
Yeah,
how
I
gory it
won't.
is.
Yeah, I'll take that. I'm used to that. At nighttime is when
Yeah,
I get to
yeah,
watch
yeah. I think it's pretty
some of
gory.
these things. Well, jumping on to streaming, I'll mention two shows that I liked that probably fall into this category. One is called Nobody Wants This, and I don't know if you've ever heard of that one. It stars
I have heard of that. Let
Not
me.
Christian Stewart, excuse me, Christian Bell. Major difference between those two people. Christian Bell and
Yeah,
I just blanked on the actor's name,
Adam
but
Brody.
Adam Brody, yeah, who Captain Marvel Jr. If no one knows, that's all I ever knew him from. I think he was on Gossip Girls or
Oh,
something like
Captain
that, right?
Marvel. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, but it's 2 seasons now. It's not a lot, but it's actually a really good show. She plays this. She's a podcaster, but with her and her sister, but she plays somebody who's kind of not in a relationship, and Adam Brody plays a rabbi who just got out of a relationship, and it's about the two of them uh, meet kind of by accident and actually like each other's company, but she's not Jewish, and obviously as a rabbi,
He's a not just Jewish. He's a rabbi.
he's a rabbi, and so he has to, he's supposed to marry someone within the faith because he's about to become like the head
Yeah, I'm gonna
rabbi.
say that's a very different. That's a very different level of intensity.
Yeah. So a lot of it is at times is she going to convert? Is she not going to convert? Which is not like, are they going to get together? Are they not going to get together? It's a very odd, different sentence. Like, is she going to convert to
Yeah,
Judaism or not? Is not what I thought a romantic comedy would really be about. But
yeah.
it
So
actually
funny.
is a
My
really good
uncle
show.
converted to marry his wife, and I don't think that either one of them was particularly religious. But I mean, I guess she was enough that he had to.
Yeah, well, it kind of becomes a thing. Like it's
Yeah.
like from even me and Jen. Like I was born Catholic, but I'm not really Catholic. But Jen's
Mhm.
Quaker, and we got married Quaker because I didn't, it didn't matter to me. It's like whatever, you
Well,
know.
exactly. That's kind of I think how my uncle was. He's like, all right, whatever,
Yeah, and that's
whatever,
kind of
whatever you want, baby.
but it's kind of funny. That's what Christian Bell's character is the same way. She's not a very religious person, but at the same time, when you're going to convert to a religion like that, you can't just convert to say, okay, now you actually have
Right. So you have
to,
to go through there's a process.
yeah, and you actually have to follow the lifestyle and all that. So it becomes, is it? And also, who's
Hmm.
in it too? That plays her. I think it's his brother-in-law, Adam Brody's brother-in-law, and thing. He's the guy in Veep that he's like the idiot guy that you hate from the. You used to watch
Timothy
Veep.
Simmons.
Yes,
Only
yeah.
because I have the IMDb page up. I
Thank
don't
you.
know.
Yeah. I was gonna say,
Would
wow,
not have
that you
gotten
must be
it without.
a real fan of
No,
this guy.
I would not have gotten it without. He's got this incredible mustache on this photo that I'm
Oh,
looking
that's
at. That I'm
funny.
like, wow,
Yeah,
what is
he
happening
is
here?
he is funny and everything. I think he even showed up in the kids watch Percy Jackson on Disney Plus,
Hmm.
that show, and he even shows up on there too, I think. But he's really
That's
great in
funny.
this show because even though he's married, he's married to the rabbi's sister, I think. Um, but he becomes best friends with Christian Bell's sister, and not in a romantic way. They literally become like best friends, which I thought was really fun, to see that on the screen, because it is it
Yeah.
is it is a you don't usually see like a situation where a person who's married and an adult and becomes really best good friends with a woman who's not married and but they're adults. Usually it's like childhood friends, but you don't usually see two
Yeah.
people meet, when they're already older and become good friends. So I like that
Well,
dynamic.
we're good friends, and we didn't meet till we were
Yeah.
already older.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, and I said, and
Yeah.
I feel
Oh my
like that's like a
gosh.
dynamic you wouldn't see in a movie. Like people say, that's
That's true.
ridiculous, right? And it's like something that I always because I always used to complain about that. Where anytime they had that, it was always like when they had like a female or male best friend, they always ended up, oh, they're gonna end up together, and that's what happens,
Yeah, yeah,
on all
yeah.
these shows. And I was like, oh, it doesn't always work like that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Mm.
but anyway, that's a fun show that I liked.
Oh,
So
that's
it's not a movie,
cool.
but it's a 2-season show. Not I don't think it's a lot of episodes, maybe 10 at most, per season.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Well, if we're plugging best romances in shows, I literally just last night we finished our rewatch of Farscape.
oh wow, nice. There you go. Yeah,
We still have to watch the movie The Peacekeeper Wars this weekend, but I mean, talk about the best romance
yeah.
ever. It's an incredible sci-fi show that was on the Sci-Fi Channel years and years ago and canceled too soon, canceled at an awkward time, and then they ended up having to make a movie afterward. Well, luckily they were able to make a movie afterwards to try
Yeah.
and like wrap up some loose ends, but four
Although it's
seasons.
a disappointing movie. I wish it was better than it
Then
was.
I know, I know, I know, I know, I know. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah,
I know,
yeah,
I know, I know, I know. All,
yeah. I
all
know.
fans of great TV shows now know that pain. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They all know that, like, wow, you guys just did not stick the landing.
yeah.
But I do feel like, for whether you're talking about Game of Thrones or even Stranger Things, I know that might be a little more topical. All of these people had so much time to prepare for the end because they knew it
Hmm.
was coming. In Farscape, they really had the rug ripped out from under
Oh
them and
yeah,
they
yeah,
kind of had to scramble. So I do give them a little more grace. I
yeah.
hate it, but I give them a little more grace for that. It's not their fault. It's not their fault.
Yeah, you know
But
what? You know what falls into that category too is like, because I feel the same way about Farscape did brilliant things where they had like the twin, they had an episode where they put the two main characters together, and it was the main character, but because of something that happens in the series where he gets split into two
yeah,
identical versions of the
there's
same
two of them. Yeah,
person.
identical.
It
It's
and
not a
what's
clone.
Yeah, it's not a
It's not
clone,
a replicant. There's just two of him.
and she has a
Incredible.
relationship with him, and then when something unfortunate happens with that with to the other one, she just can't accept and it's not the real
Yes.
one, it's just the other one she can't accept.
Yes, exactly. So
you
there's
know
two of John Crichton, the main character played by Ben Browder, and Claudia Black plays Officer Aaron's son. And so something happens where they do part ways. So she does go off with one, so they're not all on the same ship for a while at least, because that would be awkward.
yeah,
But she literally has a relationship, falls in love, with him. He dies, and then she has to return to the ship where there's another him
yeah,
who's still in love with her, but didn't have the relationship with her already. You know what I mean? And so, I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
it's this heartbreaking dynamic where it's like, he's still crazy about her, but she's still grieving.
Hmm.
And she's like,
She
and
can't
now
accept
she's
him.
worried. She's like, I can't go through it again. I
Yeah,
just lost the love of my life. And now if I get with him, first of all, I'm not done grieving the person I lost, even though it is him, literally him.
yeah,
But I now what if that happens again? I can't go through this feeling twice. I can't go
yeah,
through this loss twice. So I mean it's so good. And it's I know I've talked about Farscape on the show before, but for anybody who doesn't know, it's also the Jim Henson Creature Shop is
yeah,
basically the backbone of the show. They really were trying to flex and show what they could do with practical effects and puppetry and just all of the incredible ingenuity and artistic prowess of the entire cast and crew really, really
yeah,
sets it off. But even without all that, the core is the romance between Aaron and Crichton. and it is, I think, one of the best on-screen romances of all time. So if
Yeah.
we're going to talk about shows, I absolutely have to plug that show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it also got my boyfriend. We 11 years together now, and we got together because he messaged me Farscape quotes when he saw that I
Oh,
liked
there
it.
you go.
Um,
And that's
and
a,
we went back and forth, and I'm like, same,
yeah,
because got him the coffee date.
yeah.
You
No,
know,
that's great because that show is it's a rare one that
it
uh
is.
you don't see it anywhere really. But what's nice about it is it's easy to find streaming wise. Um,
Yeah,
I even bought like the streaming the season was like on sale for 9.99 one time, the whole complete show, on
yeah.
HD, and so I was able to watch it.
It's
I
it's
still
tough
find the
because
beginning tough. Like I still find
yes,
I would say the first, it doesn't find its groove for at least the first five episodes or six, I would say.
100%. I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. I actually, when I first was watching it, because I did watch it when it literally aired, I was on board right from the first episode,
Yeah, me too.
but I fell off for a little while because I was like, okay, and then I got back into it, and then I
Yeah.
caught myself back up because. So I agree, it is a little tough to get into at the start, but if you stick with it, and I know people hate hearing that, but it's the truth.
It's
It
weird
kind of
because
just becomes this epic thing.
I think part of it is
Inspired James Gunn for Guardians of the
oh,
Galaxy. So if you
definitely. I
like
was gonna
Guardians of the
say.
Galaxy, and he said it, I mean, it's not
Yeah.
just us talking about it. He literally said that it was absolutely an inspiration. So, I mean, if you like Guardians of the Galaxy, this is the precursor.
And that's in the thing with Gamora and Star-Lord. I mean, that's
Yeah,
definitely,
yeah.
something that
Star Lord
they played up on it.
100% is John Crichton,
Oh, yes. Yeah.
just a doofy,
Yeah.
a little doofier.
Yeah, exactly. But you mentioned who was the main bad guy in the beginning? Was it that the
Lonnie
interesting thing?
Tupu,
Yes,
Trace.
yes. What's his name again? Crace. It's
Lonnie
it
Tupu.
it's what's funny about him is in the beginning I really didn't like him, and what you'll find with this show is the bad guys end up somehow it's like in
Yeah.
Guardians is like this too, where the bad
Mhm.
guys turn not so much into good guys, but they turn into people that
You
then end up
understand
having
them
to
more.
work.
You understand
Yeah,
their motivations, and they grow, they change.
yeah.
And
I
same
didn't
thing
like
happens
him.
with Scorpius, Wayne Pygram.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Scorpio, I
so
didn't
good.
like
Oh, incredible.
Crace at all at first, and I kind of found him
Hmm.
to be kind of boring as a
Yeah, you
villain.
find him a little sympathetic at the end.
Yeah, where he turned, like definitely was a
Yeah,
lot better. But the show to me really got cooking when Scorpius showed up. I think he's one of my
Scorpius,
favorites.
so good. And the show
Yeah.
does this brilliant thing because John Crichton is an astronaut from Earth, and then he's sucked through a wormhole and has to interact with all of these incredible alien species. So he's the fish out of water, right?
Yeah.
So he's the Star Lord. you know, he's that. But they do this wonderful plot device with Scorpius, this villain, again played by Wayne Pygram, with incredible makeup, incredible his physicality, his vocality, like
Yeah.
everything is so good. But they do this thing where John Crichton gets a brain implant kind of copy of Scorpius to try, and
Hmm.
it's because they're trying to find out about wormhole technology. Obviously,
Yeah.
everybody's after wormhole technology in this show because they're like, where did this guy come from, and how can he harness this, and can he harness this? And in reality, it was just a mistake. But
Yeah.
even the whole show, John's trying to get back to Earth and trying to figure out wormholes. So anyway, that's the motivation behind it. But even after getting this chip out of his head, there's like this mental like reflection of
Hmm.
Scorpius in John Crichton's mind. So you have this crazy evil alien dude, but then you have him in very like in John's mind in
Yeah.
like Earth scenarios, or even like Earth movie scenarios, or like anything where it feels very strange. And he even calls him Harvey, like
Yeah.
from that
The
Jimmy
James
Stewart
Stewart. Yeah.
movie. Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Where with the imaginary rabbit,
Hmm.
you know?
Which is just because he's the Jimmy Stewart movie. He's drunk all the time, so he always sees imaginary
Yes.
person, Harvey, walking around with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
So John calls this copy of Scorpius that's in his mind Harvey because he knows he's not there. He's
Yeah.
imaginary, but he is there. He's like this mental copy of Scorpius, and then they have this relationship talking about what's going on in each time. And sometimes the settings will be like Casablanca like, and sometimes it'll be on a roller
Hmm.
coaster or like the back of a truck. And
That's what
there's one
it's
time
funny.
where
You
he's at
said
the beach wearing
the
a
roller
Hawaiian shirt
coasters,
over his
yeah, over his outfit. That's the roller coaster is always the one that comes to mind whenever I think of that. Was when the two of them
yeah.
are in a roller coaster. Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
I know.
that's
It's a brilliant show. And I know, again, going back to the romance, that is always the core of it. Like, that
yeah.
is the North Star. And I think what's more romantic than having someone, care for you more than anything else and go through space and time for you,
Yeah. Yeah.
Like,
And it's when you mentioned about
for each other. That's the
yeah,
point, not just one sided.
yeah, exactly. And when you mentioned about not having enough time to really tell the story, like with the movie, I mean, I instantly went to Babylon 5 and thought about
Oh, yeah.
how, and it's weird because to me, season 3 and 4 are some of the best seasons of Babylon 5, but they were only that because he was being rushed to finish the story that he wanted to tell in 5 years. So he thought he wasn't going to get a fifth season, and he crammed in all of season 5 into season 3 and 4. Then the surprise
Yeah.
was he did get a fifth season, and unfortunately, he didn't have. He kind of ran out of
He's like,
material.
well, yeah, you guys gonna.
Yeah, and it kind of straight. I mean, because season 5 is the weakest of the Babylon 5 series, but at the
Mhm.
same, but it was but that's the show I think about when you say people who were rushed into
Yeah.
finishing their stories.
Oh, that's funny.
I'll mention one last one, which is and probably everybody. Another TV show was Buffy, Vampire Slayer, of course. Um,
Mhm.
can't go.
For romance?
Yeah, definitely. I think. I mean, when you think about it, I know it sounds weird, but when you think about it, the whole aim.
I'm laughing at my reaction. I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously the whole show was about romance. I just don't think I liked any of her
Yeah, that's
romances.
true. Yeah, there weren't good ones. Yeah, but it's funny because well, there's the Angel and there's the Buffy thing, but then there's
Mm.
the Spike and Buffy thing, but which at first starts horribly,
Yeah, yeah,
but
yeah.
then Spike kind of sacrifices himself
Yeah,
to be a better person for her, and but
it's
it's
true.
it's still not enough. But it's like, but it's yeah, it's a rough season to get by the season where you finally get Spike and Buffy together, and then it's not the way you wanted them to be together. It's like
Yeah.
it's like an abusive relationship in a weird way, and
Yeah,
then
yeah, yeah, that's I don't know that it's a good rom. I mean,
yeah,
the romance idea is there through the whole show. Like the whole
yes,
show is about romance, but like I don't like any. I love that show,
yeah,
but I don't actually like any of the romances in
no,
that
you
show.
don't
I don't
want
think any of them are healthy. I don't think I mean, long live Oz. That's really
yeah,
the only
long
one
live
that I
Oz. It's
that I
funny.
thought was good at the time.
Yeah,
But
and I'm anxious to see it's being redone. Well, not redone, but a
mm,
sequel series is coming. I don't understand
yeah,
the idea of calling. I've heard this before. People keep calling sequel series reboots, and to me, a reboot
that there is a
is
difference between a reboot and a sequel series.
yeah. And I keep hearing
Absolutely agree.
people keep using that term reboot for sequel. Like when they brought
Yeah,
back Will and
reboot is a
Grace.
right over.
Yeah, and that was Will and Grace when they brought it back because they rewrote the whole last season, and then they made a mess. That just to
Did they really? I didn't know that.
oh God,
That's
yeah.
wild.
The
That's
last
wild. Just to be
episode,
like, some of it's canon, but not last season.
well, they made it all. They made to me the last season, the last episode was brilliant of Will and Grace, and then when they brought it back because they wanted to just to come back, they had to redo that ending because they didn't want to start from there, so they acted like it was a dream, which
Oh,
was
that's so dumb.
I know.
That's just the laziest writing.
Yeah, and I hated right off the bat. I was like, I'm out. I watched a little bit of
Yeah.
it, but then I was
Nothing
like, why
means
did they do
anything
that?
when you
They
can just
wasted
say
it.
it's a dream. Yeah.
Yeah, they wasted the comeback. It's like, why even bother? Because I always thought it was a funny
Yeah.
show. Um,
Oh, that's dumb.
but yeah, but I'm looking forward to what they're gonna do with the Buffy series, and
Yeah.
see where it goes because I know it has to do
Who's
with
going to be the showrunner for that? Do you know?
I'm not familiar with her work. I forgot who she
Okay,
is.
so it's not
It's not
Joss is
Joss.
nuts.
He has nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I know. It's so sad
Wow. That's why they
that
got so many people to come back for cameos, I'm sure. Because
yeah,
I know I saw a lot
yeah,
of people are coming back.
yeah.
Um,
So it's sad.
Interesting. All
It's
right.
sad that that has to be said about him, but obviously,
Yeah, but once you find out, like people, how, like what he was like on set, like once
yeah.
you find that out about somebody, I have no,
It's hard.
no. I'm
Yeah,
like, nope, sorry,
and it's
switch off.
frustrating
Bye.
because I loved the work that he did.
Yeah,
I
me too.
just
There's a
I'm
lot of
annoyed
funny
by
assholes out there.
yeah,
But when we
I'm
don't know the asshole part, I
yeah.
prefer an informed opinion. It is, I can still love the art. I can still love the things and watch them, but I'm like, okay, but now that we know this about you, it doesn't mean that I want to give you more opportunities. Like, sorry,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm
So
sorry, bye.
that's a whole other episode of shows we can no longer enjoy in the same way that we'll have to do one day,
Yeah.
or movies. But that being
Well,
said, were
I
there any more that
I have one last one that I was going to pitch.
okay.
And it was one that came out last year. It's definitely one that I talked about on the podcast before, but I want to give it another go. And I know that some people are probably going to be like, wow, she talked about a Ryan Gosling movie and it wasn't The Notebook. I still haven't even seen The Notebook. So I can't include that because I haven't even seen it. Sorry about that.
Yeah.
But I'm going to talk about The Fall Guy, 2024.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Ryan Gosling and Emily Blunt. I mean, this movie and Aaron Taylor Johnson. This movie was such a surprise to me. I went and saw it in the theater, not really knowing what to expect, except I love movie making. I
Yeah.
always love documentaries about movie making. I love watching the behind the scenes about stuff. So to me, a movie about stunts, a stunt man is fantastic. And I never watched the old show. So I didn't have that going into it, but
Yeah.
this movie so good. So, and honestly, a great romance. I truly believe
Yeah.
it was like one of the best love stories I'd seen on screen in a current film in, I don't know, maybe years. I mean, that comes to mind. I might think of something randomly later, but like to me, this was like an epic love story.
Yeah.
And
It's a very modern love story.
realistic.
Very,
Yes, a
very.
modern love
Yeah.
story and still had so much great action in it. It had a
Mhm.
lot of comedy, it had a lot of heart. I really love this film. And if you haven't seen it and you're not into watching 80s movies, I wanted to give something
Yeah. Yeah.
that was a little more current for people out there because I do believe it belongs in the list. I think it's a great romance, but it's not a romance that it's kind of like in the same way The Princess Bride has broad appeal.
Hmm.
I think this movie has broad appeal. I
Yeah.
really genuinely think if you're bringing a partner in who's not into romances, this doesn't play like that. It is a romance, but like there's so much action and there's
Oh,
so much fun.
it's a great, they really thought about stunts, which
Yeah,
is great.
it
And what
was,
I liked is
and
they really
even,
included like all the promotion really
yeah,
included all the stunt people too, because they were a huge part. I mean, the whole movie is about the
yes,
stunt profession, but the stunts were
absolutely.
amazing in the film, what everything that
They
they did.
really were. They really were. And all of the visual effects were fantastic. Even the cinematography, I really felt like it was a love letter to the movie making industry and to
Yeah.
stuntmen in particular, but it was so well done. And I really felt it. Like I gotta plug it anytime I can. Again, I want to kind of shout to the rooftops and say, definitely watch this. Watch Hard Ice if you want another little campy, something violent. But those are my
Hard Ice, I
current
don't.
Jacqueline Heart Ice, Heart Ice, the one that I said before,
Oh,
the
Hard
the
Eyes.
slasher one.
I thought you were saying Hard Ice. I'm like, wait, I've never heard of that.
Hard
Is that an ice
Ice.
skating
No,
movie? Like
sorry,
what?
Heart Eyes.
Yeah. Because
um,
what's
you
the other
know,
one everyone talks about? Is The Cutting Edge? Is that the one?
oh, shut up! I love The Cutting Edge
Yes,
with
yeah, I figured.
DB Sweeney and
Yeah,
um oh gosh, what was her name? She's in everything
yeah,
back
she was
then.
in Charlie the Chaplin movie too. She played,
Pick
what is her? Yeah, I forget her name. More, not Mora,
Moira,
Moira
Moira,
something.
wasn't
Yeah,
it? Let
yeah.
me look. Hang on.
I forget. I know that's yeah. But that's a movie though. I
Moira
wasn't
Kelly.
really Maura Kelly. Yeah, I wasn't really a
Moira Kelly.
there wasn't a movie I really watched. It was a movie I saw pieces of, and I
It's
think
a
I
great one to
watched it
watch
with
if
Jen.
you
Yeah,
just watched the Olympics and you still want more ice skating.
yeah, yeah. The
That's a good
concept
one to
of it
go
is
back
fun.
to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a fun concept. The idea of it. You
The
know.
Bobchenko twist. Or what was that? Was that the name
Yeah,
of it?
yeah, that's funny.
That was so
I
much fun. But yeah, I haven't seen that since I was younger.
Yeah, I always think of when when I saw Blades of Glory, I would think of that movie because that's the Will Ferrell,
Yes.
and they do that, whatever that big move is, where he has to flip around and try not to chop his head off.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so
That's what I'm saying. The Bobchenko twist.
yeah,
That's
that's
what I'm
what.
saying.
Yeah, but yeah, we've
Yeah.
been watching the Olympics not often and following Jen and Quinn have been following the ice skating. The quad god and all that stuff. I don't know if
Very
have you been
nice.
watching any of the Olympics at all or
Just little snippets here and there. My YouTube is feeding me. I do like ice skating. It's not something that I watch normally, but it's actually been years since I feel like I saw it. But recently I clicked on one, so now it's giving me lots.
oh
But
okay.
they're wonderful. They're incredible.
Yeah, no,
But
that's
those are
been
the only ones that
amazing.
I've seen. I haven't seen
The,
all the rest.
Peacock does this amazing thing where you can do multi-view and it'll show you like three different events going on at the same time. Um,
Oh my gosh, that's so.
yeah.
That's
And you can like choose which
that's
one you
so
want to
now.
hear, or you can then, if something looks interesting, you can just click and just watch, and it just kind of pulls it up. It's kind of like what I always thought long time ago when I was in college, they were talking about how one day you'll be able to use a channel guide and the channel guide will be on screen and then you'll be able to click on it and see whatever you want, or you can watch two things at once. And this was just they were theorizing about it. And basically
I remember
it's TiVo, is what they
I
were
remember
talking
that
about.
commercial from like Bright House Television back in Florida when I was growing up, and it was like a little kid going up to the screen and tapping. It was a touch to tap on
Oh
the
yeah, yeah,
commercial though, and
yeah.
tapping on it, and we were all like, "That's amazing! Oh, I
Yeah,
can only imagine."
I know, yeah.
I
Well,
remember.
because when I was in that college class, I was thinking about because I was still using videotapes to tape shows,
Hmm.
and I think I was, and I just the idea that you could just watch something whenever you wanted to, I was like that eliminates the
We
whole
were we
idea of
were
having to
so
tape
behind. We
something.
didn't even do that. We were just like, "Oh, I wasn't home.
Yeah, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, that would happen too. Yeah,
Gotta watch out for the rerun."
yep, yep. And that's almost started to happen with some things lately, but because I was trying to keep something like I defy anybody out there to tell me if you record something using any of your technology and then you want to keep it, tell me what do you do besides save it on the DVR or whatever it's on, right? You don't in the old
Mhm.
days you had it on videotape and you were done. Like now you have to get a tech specialist to come into your house to figure out how to save that, recording that you have on your DVR into another format, just to keep it, so
So I still have a couple VHSs that I won't throw away. And it's so funny because it's not like it's any content that I can't get anymore. But back when I was actually recording things off of TV, it was like anime shows or something that I you didn't have like normal access to. So like let's say they were doing a marathon of something and I would try and record it and try and take out commercials while I was doing it. But
yeah.
afterwards I would put the label on and then I would try and draw the artwork on the label and like color it so it looked
Oh,
as
that's funny.
close to like a bought one.
Yeah. Oh, that's
And
cool.
I'm like, I don't know, I drew all over these. These are so fun. But now I have this little crate of VHSs, and I'm like, I mean, I really don't. I could probably just take a picture of these and let them go. Maybe I did last time I moved. I wonder if I still do have them somewhere. I think I do, but it is possible I had that same thought to myself last time I moved, and I'm like, let me just take a
Well, it's weird is
let
that
these go.
people are like, scouring for like VHS tapes, people's recorded VHS tapes, or like for found media, or even like video
Hmm.
discs, laser discs, all it's become like something that's worth money now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, believe it
That's
or
funny.
not. So you never know. You may have a
We'll
gold
see.
mine in your collection there. So
We shall see.
Okay, well, this was very
That's
cool.
fun.
I'm glad we got to do this and talk about movies that I definitely am going to look up, and I know a few that that I threw out there that maybe people will have heard of, will have take
Definitely.
a
Yeah,
look
you
at,
had stuff I hadn't even heard of.
which was cool. Yeah, and definitely I was so curious about Hard Eyes, so now I have to watch that one because
Yeah,
it kept coming
it's a
up, but I
fun one.
wasn't sure about it. Yeah.
It's
So,
a fun one.
well, very nice. Well, we will catch everyone next time. I'm sure we'll do another show soon,
Yes. Hope
and
everyone had a great Valentine's Day, and I think we're of a mind since I really enjoy these kind of theme episodes. I think we might kind of start to do that a little bit more, where it's more about mm, an episode with something in mind,
yeah,
instead of just what did we watch last weekend, but having
yeah.
maybe a little bit more of some driving force behind it.
Yeah, it's not being the Alzheimer's channel where it's me trying to remember what the name of a movie was that I just saw with the
Oh
actor I
yeah,
can't
we'll have them
remember.
pre ready to go. We've
Yeah,
got a few lined
because
up.
there was one episode I think that I was listening back to where I was like, I saw that movie with I can't remember the name. I don't remember who the actor is, and I could barely even explain the plot. So it's like I might as well have said I saw a movie. Go see it.
I saw
Like
a movie.
yeah. All right. Well, I will talk to
All
you next
right.
time.
Adios, muchachos.